The ground trembles, the air shakes with thunder, and through the smoke strides a god of war reborn, its fists like thunderbolts, its cannons roaring hymns of destruction. Entombed within its iron heart lies a hero who will never die, only awaken when the galaxy itself calls for vengeance. This is the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought, the hammer of the Imperium.
Welcome back to Brush and Blood, where Warhammer meets the real world. Today, we're painting one of the most devastating war machines ever forged by the Adeptus Astartes, the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. As I paint, we'll explore its brutal weaponry, its role in the Horus Heresy, and the tragic story of the heroes who become engines of annihilation.
Let's get it on!
Lore and background. The Leviathan is the apex of dreadnought design older than the Imperium itself, born in the forges of Mars during the Horus Heresy. It was never meant for open battle. It was built for sieges to crush fortresses, breach walls, and erase the impossible. Each Leviathan houses a warrior whose body was broken beyond repair, but whose will refused to die. Encased in an adamantium sarcophagus, his mind merges with the machine's spirit, creating a singular will, half man, half god of war. Arsenal of the Leviathan. Its arsenal is legendary, each weapon a hymn to destruction. The Storm Cannon arrays twin-barreled rotary cannons that fire shells larger than a man's forearm. Each shot can rip apart armor, flesh, and hope alike. When a Leviathan opens fire, it doesn't sound like bolter fire, it sounds like artillery wrapped in fury. Then there are the siege claws, enormous power fists fitted with inbuilt meltaguns. They don't just crush, they vaporize steel at the molecular level. When they close, they melt through tanks, titans, and traitors, as if the galaxy itself were butter. Mounted above them are the hunter-killer missiles, nicknamed Fire That Never Dies. Each warhead burns with a chem-reactive flame that cannot be extinguished by vacuum, wind, or even submersion. When these rockets strike, their fire clings like judgment burning until there's nothing left to consume. But the Leviathan's most terrifying weapon is its Gravflux Bombard, a relic of lost mechanicum science. The Gravflux doesn't explode, it collapses. It warps gravity itself, turning a targeted area into a crushing implosion field. The heavier the target, the harder it's punished. Tanks are flattened like parchment. Infantry are thrown into walls at bone-shattering speed. Even energy shields bend inward, strangled by their own mass. And if you're unlucky enough to survive the first shot, the bombard's aftershock leaves the ground itself unstable, pulling debris and corpses into orbit before slamming them back down in a storm of ruin. When all these weapons fire in unison, there's no sound like it in the galaxy, a chorus of machine vengeance echoing the Emperor's will. Real-world parallels. Engines of war. The Leviathan echoes the greatest siege machines in human history. Roman siege towers and rams that brought empires to their knees. World War I first tanks, unstoppable steel beasts crawling through no man's land. Modern mechanized divisions that level city blocks with a single volley. Every age has its Leviathan, a weapon so powerful it changes the rules of war. It's not elegant, it's not subtle, but once it begins moving, only gods can stop it. Lore vignettes. The Siege of Cracksgate, Vornhold Bastion, and the Last Wolf of Istvan. The Siege of Kithrak's Gate. When the Iron Warriors besieged Kithrak's Gate, the Ultramarines unleashed a single Leviathan. It advanced through Melta storms and plasma bombardments, its armor glowing red-hot. Its siege claws tore through iron fortifications like parchment. When the smoke cleared, the gate was gone. And so were the heretics. The battle logs record 6 hours of combat. the Leviathan fought for all 6. The breaking of Vornhold Bastion. On the death world of Vornhold, a chaos fortress stood unbroken for 40 years. Then, the dreadnought known as Vigilant Hector awoke. He walked alone into enemy fire that could melt ceramite, tore open the gates with his siege claw, and ended the siege with a single transmission. The Emperor's work is done. The last wolf of Istvan. During the Horus Heresy, as virus bombs fell upon Isfahan III, one Leviathan remained sealed beneath the Loyalist fortress, its pilot, Brother Gaius Dravan of the Luna Wolves. When betrayal reigned from orbit, Dravan overrode his sarcophagus locks and strode into the inferno. His armor burned, his servos screamed, but he kept moving. He tore through corrupted sons of Horus, who once called him brother, until his claws locked around the traitor standard and crushed it into ash. When the battle ended, his chassis was found surrounded by hundreds of dead. His Vox was silent, but his power core still burned fire that never went out. Pop culture and film parallels. You've seen its spirit before the unstoppable engine, the monster with a mind, the machine that refuses to quit. The Terminator, relentless, precise, and fueled by a single directive. Complete the mission. It's not hate, not revenge, just cold inevitability. That's the Leviathan, marching through plasma fire like it's rain. Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim damaged, half broken, yet still swinging. You can almost hear that same Jaeger alarm when a Leviathan powers up. Neural handshake confirmed. Because when its reactor ignites, you know the city's about to shake. The Iron Giant, the perfect contrast. A weapon built for annihilation that still remembers kindness. There's tragedy in that the same spark inside the Leviathan that still dreams of being a warrior, not a war machine. But it doesn't stop there. RoboCop Duty, reborn in steel. Optimus Prime, a commander who feels every loss but keeps fighting anyway. Alphonse Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, a soul bound to armor. Gentle heart trapped in endless battle. That's the Leviathan in every universe, the echo of humanity buried inside indestructible armor. It's what makes it tragic and what makes it awesome. The Leviathan isn't just a machine, it's the punchline to every cinematic slow-motion walk through fire you've ever seen. When it moves, the ground splits. When it roars, entire armies go silent. It's the Terminator's precision, Gypsy Danger's heroism, the Iron Giant's soul, all fused into one towering hymn of destruction. And somewhere, deep inside all that armor and circuitry, is a voice that still whispers, I am still a warrior. Real-world reflection. The price of power. The Leviathan story isn't about victory, it's about cost. Every time it awakens, more of the soul inside fades away. Every battle burns another fragment of the warrior who once was. Like tank crews who lived in their armor, or pilots who became one with their machines, the Leviathan is a monument to devotion and loss. It doesn't rest. It endures. Because the Imperium demands nothing less. Psychology of the Leviathan. Psychologists call it mission entrapment when identity and purpose become one. For the Leviathan, there's no peace, no end. Just the next siege, the next wall, the next war. A hero trapped in eternity, a living reminder that even victory can become a prison. And there we have it. The Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. The Leviathan Siege Dreadnought is the Imperium-made manifest, unstoppable, unrelenting, and willing to burn forever if it means survival. Fun fact. Some chapters record each Leviathan's awakening with the words, "The slumber ends." When the battle is done, those records are burned, because once the hammer falls, mercy is no longer an option. Next time on Brush and Blood, we stay in the fires of the 30th millennium, diving into the red forges of Mars to meet the Archmagos Prime, master of the Omnissiah's will and architect of the Leviathan itself. Question for you, Battle Brothers. If you had to walk the battlefields of the Horus Heresy, would you rather pilot a Leviathan, your footsteps shaking worlds, or forge one, bending steel and spirit to your command as a Magos of Mars? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It keeps the machine spirit purring and the paint flowing. Until next time, stand tall and let thunder answer your call.
Not too bad.
Next time on Brush and Blood. From the depths of the Forge Worlds, the Omnissiah's chosen steps into the Dark Millennium. Archmagos Prime, master of circuitry, prophet of steel. Every calculation, every shot, every prayer, precision itself.
All data converges.